Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Later on today, Jeremy Hunt will stand at the dispatch box in the Commons and deliver what is basically his autumn statement. It's basically his budget. And in there, he will say that taxes are up, taxes are down, beer duty's up, beer duty's down, whatever it will be, petrol duty, probably kept the same, blah, 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 blah. All the usual banter and bullshit that he is forced to say every year. And whatever he says, it will be, of course, closely monitored and pounced on should there be anything that goes against what people are expecting. So, for example, if he dicks with the pensions, then he knows he's going to be in trouble. If he reduces the rate of taxation, or at least increases allowances perhaps, then people will expect that, and that'll be quite welcome. Well, certainly south of the border, not so much north of the border, because Shona Robison has already written to him to say, please God, don't reduce taxes because it makes us in Scotland look like a terrible government who's tried to tax the people of Scotland to death. Well, that's what you're trying to do, isn't it, Shona? But she is having none of it. She is sitting there before he says anything and getting the first kick in. And she's saying that everything that is wrong with Scotland, and has been so since 2009 or 2007 when they took over, has been the fault of Westminster. It's got nothing to do with the SNP, nothing to do with them making really terrible decisions, nothing to do with them spending money wastefully on projects that will never destined to work. No, it's all the fault of Westminster. Because we didn't expect anything else, did we? Let's have a look. Now, before we get into this, do please check you're still subscribed. YouTube is still playing funny buggers with the subscriptions and dropping people out. Do please go check you are subscribed and make sure you've rung that bell so you don't miss the notifications. And if you're yet to subscribe, now would be an excellent time to do so. Now, we'll have a look at this. Shona Robison reverts to the negative Westminster blame ahead of the autumn statement. Now, of course, he'll get up about 1 o'clock, I believe it is. He's due to stand up, something like that. And he'll deliver his speech, making a statement about how wonderful the Tories are and how brilliant their economic plan is and all the usual guff that goes along with the day. He'll do the little picture standing outside number 11 holding the red box and so on. It's the usual sort of pantomime and theatre of the day. But the most important sort of thing that we're looking at, of course, is that he doesn't dick with the pension. And I will bring a sort of little précis later based on what he's said. However, Shona Robison, as we see there, is blaming everything on Westminster. Everything that happens in Scotland is the fault of Westminster. It's not them. It can't possibly be them because they're practically perfect in every way. She sees herself as a modern day Mary Poppins, although the only thing capacious about her is her empty head. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt will make the announcement on Wednesday, November the 22nd, regarding UK spending and taxes, but the SNP minister has something to say ahead of it, because of course she has. She can't take responsibility for her own party's failures, can she? SNP Finance Secretary Shona Robison has accused the UK government of a lack of financial flexibility in her comment prior to the autumn statement. Opponents told glum Miss Robison that her statement was negative and blames Westminster for everything while failing to take responsibility. And she hit back saying, I'm sorry, but there is a lot to be negative about. Well, certainly, after 17 years of SNP government, everybody has got a lot of negative feelings. Everybody's looking around them and thinking how awful it is. But that's not Westminster. You were in government before the Tories were. So if it's bad, it's because of you. Already she's demanded that Rishi Sunak and his UK government avoid ill-timed tax breaks, which I've just covered. She doesn't want taxation in the rest of the UK to be lower than in Scotland for obvious reasons. She'd either have to reduce taxation in Scotland, which then means they couldn't fulfil all their promises, and it looks like the council tax would have to be abandoned, that tax freeze, as well as many other things. So that would go against it. Or she keeps the taxes up, in which case people and businesses will flee the country to go to where the taxes, should we say, more favourable. She made a last gasp plea for more funding for Scotland as she prepares to deliver her own devolved budget in December. But they were given £6 million recently to save swimming pools, and they didn't spend it on swimming pools. They spent it on who knows what guff that they spent it on. Certainly there's no receipts for it. Regions across the UK are facing tough decisions with inflation rates and the ongoing cost of living crisis. Yes, it's across the whole of the country, not just Scotland. But, you can't blame Westminster for everything, can you, Miss Robison? Only this morning, she graciously suggested during the Holyrood Finance Committee that her relationship with the UK government was improving. Tory MSP Liz Smith accused her of completely undermining this sentiment. Yes, she's saying it's getting better and then immediately slags off Westminster. Because politics, isn't it? She can't be honest. Can't be honest. During the Holyrood session, Ms Smith said, I was going to begin by complimenting the Cabinet Secretary, who I thought was very gracious at the Finance Committee this morning when she acknowledged that through the fiscal framework, discussions, relationships between the Scottish Government and the UK Government had been very convivial, and that is a good sign, she said. That statement, however, has been completely undermined because this is a category of negativity that it is blaming Westminster. In a statement, Ms Smith, the Shadow Cabinet Secretary for Finance and Local Government, said Shona Robison has reverted to the SNP's usual tactic of blaming everything on Westminster, though she told the Finance Committee this morning that Scotland's two governments were working well together. She needs to take responsibility for the £1 billion black hole in Scotland's finances, brackets, now getting close to £2 billion, our faltering growth and huge cuts that she is proposing today for health, education, transport, energy, and as usual our forgotten rural economy. Cuts is all they can do, because if they can cut where it actually matters, then they have more money to spend on independence, which we showed yesterday is only about 30% of the population of Scotland who want independence. It's a very weird thing. The Scottish Tories have taken issue with the absence of comment on a failure to pass on money given to match business rates relief in other parts of the UK. That was the other thing. Billions were given to them to say, pass this on to the businesses to help their business rates. And they decided that, actually, no, they won't. They'll keep the money for themselves and spending elsewhere, mainly on independence stuff. So what Westminster needs to start doing now is when it gives money up there, don't give it to the SNP government, give it directly to the businesses, directly to the councils, directly to whatever it needs to go to. Bypass the SNP, undermine them, cut them off at the knees, and stop them basically stealing public money aimed and directed at one thing to use in their own personal party political quest. It's just awful, isn't it? It's just the sort of thing we would expect, really. There's no change, is there? During the 10-minute speech this morning, she said, and this is Shona Robison, that she will announce her budget in 28 days' time. She said, I still do not know the quantum of funding available to support Scotland's needs. We're only a little over a year on from the disastrous Trust mini-budget that didn't actually come in. So she's blaming a budget that never actually happened. Marvellous, isn't it? She's saying that it was all Liz Truss's fault a year ago, even though Liz Truss lasted 45 days and her budget didn't even pass muster. So there is a woman removed from reality, incapable of accepting that it's her party that has completely screwed everything up and has to blame other people. The big boy did it and ran away. The big boy didn't. The big boy keeps giving you money that you waste on your little projects rather than spending it where it's needed, Shona. Stop lying. Stop stealing. Stop pretending that you're not incompetent. Coming up. Of course, the principle here is that they have to blame others. They have to keep misdirection, connivance, cover-up. Because they cannot allow people to realise how incompetent, stupid and criminal they truly are. Trouble is, we do know how incompetent, stupid and criminal they really are. There's no covering this up. But still, they'll carry on with their shady little ways, their snide little cover-ups, and their absolute disregard for the facts. Never mind. Long may it continue. Not that long, let's hope. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, and keep watching. We've got another story coming up very soon, which you may well find quite good. Anyway, till then, I shall speak to you later. Bye.